We're going to be joined by one of the greatest fighters of all time, one of the greatest boxers of all time. I have talked about him countless numbers of time on this program. I talk about him all the time on Twitter. We actually named a segment after him. He was on the show once before, a couple years ago. He is the author of, in my opinion, the greatest rap song of all time. Y'all Must Have Forgot. Nothing Like It. Named a segment after it. I talk about it almost every single damn week. In my opinion, he's one of the greatest boxers of all time, one of my favorites growing up. He is the one and only Roy Jones Jr., and he joins us right now via the magic of Skype. I can't wait for this. Always an honor to talk to the legend himself, the man who played basketball and fought on the same damn day. There he is, Roy Jones. Wow, Pensacola's finest. This is great. How are you, Roy?
Yeah, I'm good, brother. How you feeling?
I'm doing great. This is a great honor for me. Thank you again for coming on. You know, I talk about your song, Y'all Must Have Forgot, every week on this show. I talk about it when fighters come back from adversity and do a great thing. That song, that song, it still means something in 2017. Do you get that a lot from people?
Yes, I do. It means something. It means a lot more than people understand, because there are so many of us who have things and we have letdowns in life, or we have hurdles that we get tripped up by in life, and we have to come back. And what people don't understand is when we get back, we have to say, y'all must have forgot. Did y'all forget who I was? Did y'all forget what I did? Did y'all forget what I stand for? Did y'all forget what I mean? I'm a God-first soldier. So don't tell me.
Oh, I love it. That is amazing. Did you write those lyrics? Was that all you?
Me and a partner of mine together, me and Hodge Whipper got together. We sat down and both of us kind of went through, we would come up with ideas, and we kind of co-wrote it, so it was kind of good, yeah.
And what, can you remind me, what place were you in your career? Were people doubting you at that point when you felt the need to put that out there?
I was pound for pound the best, but they had robbed me of the Griffin fight, and then they had me fight. You know, I had the long line of #1 contenders that a lot of people didn't know some of them, but I wasn't interested in giving up none of my titles. So they wanted me to go to England. I mean, not England, to go to Germany to fight against Darius Mikucheski. And I'm like, I got 7 belts. He has 1. Why would I take my 7 to his backyard so they can rob me? Yeah. When he ain't got but that 1. If he wants some more, if he really thinks he's good, bring that 1 over here and let's see what happens. But he would never do it. So I'm like, you scared of it? Y'all must have forgot. Y'all know who I am.
Amazing. When's the last time you performed the song in its entirety?
About 6 months ago.
Where?
Yeah, I performed 6 months ago. I think I was in. I might have been in a club in a bar in I think I was in Vegas in a bar, and I might have performed it. Yeah,
that's amazing. Was that the only song you put out?
Huh?
Go on. Go ahead. What were you just about to say?
It was a guitar band. I was performing anyway, and they wanted me to perform the song, so I went up there and they played, and I performed it.
Wow,
yeah.
That is
amazing. About 6 months.
I wish I could see it. Now, is that the only song you put out, or did you put out others?
No, you know one that most of your MMA fans are gonna know is one that says "Can't be touched, can't be stopped, can't be moved, can't be rocked, can't be shook."
I love it.
We hot. When will these people learn? That's us too. You know what I'm saying? So that's just, y'all almost forgot was a solo. That "Can't Be Touched" is me. God bless the dead, my deceased artist Magic, and a guy by the name of Trouble.
Incredible. Yeah. Well, I mean, that song.
And I still perform that one often.
I was listening to the song before the show today, and I was getting pumped up. It's just an amazing song. I could go on and on about it. You were just in Montreal, my hometown, right?
Yep, I was there with Jean Pascal.
Yeah, a tough night for you guys.
Yeah, it was a tough night for her, but you know, people can say what they want. But the one thing I love about MMA and boxing is that people always judge people about what they do or what they can't do, and it's like for me, I see so many different things than what people see in life. It's like I respect a warrior and a warrior's mentality. John Pascal has the biggest heart and the most kingly type of warrior mentality of anybody I've ever seen in my life. He fought a guy that he's been in the gym with for the last 5 years. His trainer who brought him up since he was a kid also trains this guy. So he had the guts to go out and get a whole nother trainer, come back and fight against his trainer with an even younger boxer. And it takes a lot. So we was ready for it. We just need a little bit more time to know how to teach, so I could teach him how to deal with the jab. But we did a great job. Stefan LaRouche was great in helping train him. He was the head trainer. Actually, I helped him, but he did a great job of allowing me to come in and give my 2 cents and show him the real things. And I was working on him dealing with that jab. I think we just didn't have enough time to finish it, but he does a great job. And John Pascal is truly a warrior on anybody's stage. And as a matter of fact, I was even honored and I didn't get a picture because I was feeling bad because I hate to lose, but George St. Pierre came in and I was like, oh wow, GSP. You know, it's like so cool to see GSP. So
that's awesome. Good. He came in to talk to Jean after the fight?
Yes. Yes. One warrior always knows the other warrior.
What did he say?
They spoke in French.
Oh, okay.
They spoke in French. So I didn't say parlez-vous français. I don't know what they said.
But that's really cool. So you have respect for the MMA guys. I mean, you recognize who GSP is in this sport.
I have respect for everybody that fights because people talk about a lot of things, but what they don't talk about, they don't give fighters enough credit, and they don't give people who have the guts to go in and fight one-on-one enough credit. Yeah. Because we all complain about drive-by shootings. We all complain about all the murders of the teens, how they're shooting each other, this, that, and other. But we're not teaching them that the reality of the fact is if you're real, you can win and you can lose, but you're willing to do both of those things with your hands, mano to mano, if you have to.
Right. Now, is this part of your transition? Go ahead.
That's it. That's what makes a man to me.
Yeah. How do you feel about being a coach, though? Sometimes it's hard when you still feel like you got it to be that coach. Is this part of your transition out of active fighting?
Yeah, it's part of my transition, but it's not hard because I know that, I mean, for me, to be honest with you, when I coach guys, it reminds me of what I don't do anymore because my head starts working for them and it don't work for me no more because I wasn't as hungry as I used to be. So it's like, okay, I got it. I don't need to think that much, but you do. But for them, my head starts spinning because I'm trying to teach them what I was.
Right.
I must have forgotten. So
that's amazing.
It makes me wake up all the old things that I used to do. Yeah. Like right now, I'm probably more deadly right now than I've been in 5 years because training him and training all the other fighters that I train has made my head start back spinning. And when my head spins, it's crazy because that's why I used to beat everybody because I thought everybody. But when I got to after I won the heavyweight championship, I was done what I really truly wanted to do, so I stopped thinking.
Do you want to still fight?
I'm going to still fight.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I can tell you, right now I'm working on a situation where I might be fighting, and the whole thing is that I would love to fight for the cruiserweight title and be done with it, but a new cause came up. I did not realize that over 300-something thousand of our kids were kidnapped last year for the slave trade. That's something that needs to be addressed because the problem I have is I have friends who are grown friends, they're adult people who chose to sell or do things to people who chose to buy it. So if you got a friend that went to jail for drug dealing, I mean, he chose to sell something illegal to somebody who was adult but chose to buy it.
Yeah.
But these children are not asking to be kidnapped and used as sex slaves or being shipped out the country for the slave trade, and some of them even right here in the country still. So it's like, I believe in fighting for the kids because they can't deal and make those decisions themselves. And so a guy came in and said, hey, man, do you realize how big this slave trade is with these children? I was like, no. When he told me over 300,000 kids were kidnapped and sold to that last year, it blew my mind. It almost scared me because I have kids too. So it's like now my friend wants me to do one fight in the name of raising money for the sex trade or slave trade, whatever they call it, to save these children. And with that, it might happen. I'm not sure, but that's the only thing I'll do outside of trying to fight towards winning another cruiserweight title before I retire. But if that came up, that's something that would supersede everything I want to do because that's not for me. That's something that God wants me to do for the world. Yeah. And I definitely would step in and do that.
Kudos. So if you do fight for the belt, you want to fight for the belt, win the belt, and then walk away?
That's what I would do. That's my plan. But God may have another plan. So sometimes my plan supersede my plan without a doubt.
Now, I'm dying to ask you about this. Of course, everyone talking about Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather. What is your take on this fight?
My take on the fight is that, being a fighter, I can't hate neither side because I understand why they want to do it, and I want to do the same thing. Me and Anderson tried to do this years ago.
Yep.
However, Anderson had a little bit more boxing experience, I think, than Conor has. But I'm sure Conor's no fool. Conor has been going to the gym now, I'm sure, getting experience because he knows he's going to need that in order to deal with Floyd Mayweather. Here's how you have to look at it, though. In the boxing field, I feel like Floyd Mayweather is definitely the supreme athlete. should have all the advantages going in. But Floyd Mayweather's probably one thing he doesn't deal with well, if you look at the videos, was Paul Spatafor and the kid who just fought and won the title 2 weeks ago. What's the left-handed kid? Earl Spence. Mm-hmm. They're both left-handed, and they, in sparring, they gave Floyd Mayweather a little bit of a hard time. But I'm sure that's why Conor McGregor thinks, wow, they're both southpaws. They gave Floyd a little trouble in the gym being southpaws. I'm a southpaw. If I can get in and duplicate that and land one big punch, I have a chance. And that's what Conor is supposed to think, because that's how fighters think. Mm. On the other side, Floyd Mayweather is pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world today, and he's a defensive specialist. So to not discredit Floyd, you got to know that Floyd in a boxing ring should be able to defeat damn near anybody in that weight class. Conor McGregor, especially because he don't have the experience that Floyd has. So I can't really see Conor McGregor dealing with Floyd like that because of that experience factor, and the fact that Floyd has proved that while he was active, he was one of the pound for pound best to ever do it. So it's like it's very difficult to see Conor beating Floyd in a boxing match. However, and from Conor's side, though, you got to respect that. You got to know what he sees. He sees that these two guys were able to cause problems and they were southpaws. Maybe I can. But I just don't see how he's going to do it without any experience. So it's a tough situation. Great event. Not so sure about how competitive the fight would be.
So as you may have seen, Oscar De La Hoya came out and said that this would ruin boxing and people shouldn't support it, all this stuff. Did you see his comments and do you agree with him?
I did not see his comments. I don't disagree with nobody because in today's society, people are about doing a quick fix, making quick money, doing what they got to do to make it happen. People are, today we live in a microwave society. People want it now.
Yeah.
And people don't give a care what it turns out if they want it now. It's like for me, whatever he said about it, I could have said the same thing about the Pacquiao fight because to me, after Marquez knocked Pacquiao out, I don't want to see Floyd fight Pacquiao no more. Mm-hmm. You understand me? So you could say the same thing about that fight. But look how many people went and paid for the fight still. So that means that people wanted to see it. So Floyd is in the business of knowing what people want to see, and he gives them what people want to see. And they pay for it because it's what they want to see. So how could you tell him not to do that?
Right.
It'd be crazy for him not to do that. Same thing me and Anderson was doing. We was trying to do it because we knew people wanted to see it. People want to see two people who get in the ring and have no regards for safety. We let our hands down. We don't care about safety. When we're out there to entertain the fans. And there was two of us like that. So why would people not want to see that? And that's the same thing these two guys are looking at.
Would you watch it if it happens?
Of course I'm going to watch it. I want to see how much preparation Conor McGregor did. How serious did he take it? Did he just do it to go get a paycheck, or did he really go out there and go prepare and try to win the fight? I want to see. You understand me? Because that'll let me know something. That'll tell me more about Conor McGregor as a person, which I love him as a person so far. But if he goes out and truly tries to win the fight, that'll tell me even more about him.
Do you think he has a chance? Like, does he have a puncher's chance, or do you give him no shot in hell?
No, you got to give him a chance because he's going in there. That's why I like about fighting. A fighter, if you win a fight, you always got a punch a chance because you will fight. So if he'll fight, you always got a punch a chance. Everybody that has the heart to go in and fight, you got a punch a chance. It's like I always tell people, my thing is, if we're a country, right? If we're sending soldiers to war, and they got a war, and they get to war, and they see bullets coming by their head, and they get scared, and they say, I'm scared I might die, and they leave and come home, we lose the war, right? Mm. Right? Mm. Well, this is what we teach them. We teach them that, it's not right to be willing to give your life for something unless it's your country. Why do we have to be, why can't it just be our country? Don't you know if we learn that something is worth sacrificing our life for, then we have a better chance of saving our country and everything else? But when you teach us that, it's never worth putting your life on the line for except your country. That's the only thing. No, it's worth me losing my life over my kids. It's worth me losing my life over my wife. Mm. It's worth me losing my wife over my family members. So it's like we should teach more of that. And that's what Conor's saying. He's willing to risk his life to go out there and take a shot at Floyd Mayweather. Mm. That's saying a lot to me. So for me, I cannot hate on nobody who's willing to risk their life to go prove their point.
I love it. I love it. Now, what are the chances that you versus Anderson is the co-main event?
That won't be the co-main event. That's an event I think that can stand on its own.
Okay.
Unless they offered us money that me and him was like, wow. If they offered that type of money, we got to say yeah. But if that was the case, of course, I'm sure we would do it. But truly speaking, I think if me and Anderson were able to get together, that's an event that can hold its own shoes. It doesn't need to be on a co-main event. Nobody. I think we got enough in that to make our own fight and be our own main event. But like I said, if they want to make it a super event and say, we'll give you guys X amount of dollars to be the co-main event, and it was so big that Anderson and I couldn't turn it down, then I'm sure we probably would. But I don't see that happening because they already arguing about their own money. So how they gonna set up? So we'd be better to go set up for ourselves and do our own thing on our own terms because we were just as big as superstars in our time as they are in their time.
Recently, when all this talk heated up, I saw a picture of you and Anderson together not that long ago, and then I saw another picture of you at the UFC offices. So I was wondering if there was some talk of this. What were you doing there? And what were you talking to Anderson about? Why were you guys together?
It was very little talk about it because we had been talking about it before. But truly, what I was at the UFC office was to try to get my island fights on Fight Pass. And we still trying to talk to that. That's what I was at the UFC office about. Then Anderson, I was in California. He was like, man, come meet. Let's talk again because we always talk. Anytime in this area I try to go out, we go. He take me to that restaurant, that Brazilian meat restaurant, which I love to death. They got the best meat you ever want to eat. Okay. So we always talk. And since I was there, he was like, "Come on, holler at me, man." So we went to talk, and he did talk about. He said he still wants to fight me. He's still highly interested in fighting me, but he has to, he has to do his thing with the UFC first. And I asked Dana about it again. Dana said he's gonna get him ready for this and for that. And so Dana had plans for him. And so anytime Dana has plans for him, I try to respect everybody's plan because that's just who I am. And you have a contract that you have to, that you're obligated to. So I try to respect this contract. So I try not to interfere with no contractual obligations. However, I am willing to fight if he can get free. And that's why I expressed to him.
Was it ever close over the years? Did you ever? Yeah, it was very close. I think it's still close now because his fight got canceled. They were supposed to have June 3rd. Yeah. Wow, you know.
So he has. So it's like, to me, this is the only thing I don't understand. If I can go find him $5 million guarantee, and the UFC is guaranteeing him, I don't know, maybe 2, I ain't sure they're guaranteeing him, then why would they not let him come get that fight?
Yeah.
Right? And something he wants to do, he idolized me growing up in the ring, so he wants to be in the ring with me because he wants to see, can my tricks work against me? I know what he wants to do. He wants to try some of the things that he learned on me, which is understandable. That's a fighter. You're supposed to be like that. It ain't gonna work, but but you gotta try. And for me, my goal is to make sure it don't work and don't let it work. But yes, of course he wants to share the ring with me. And of course I want to share with him because I see that he's pretty good at some of my tricks. I want to see how good he is at it. Can he defend himself with his hand behind the back? Can he defend himself with his hand down? Can he catch the snake bite before it pops him on the lip? I want to see. And it's a great, once again, just like the McGregor-Mayweather fight, it's a big event. So people want to see events. They love the fighting aspect of it too, but they want to see the event. And what they really want to see is will you fight to the end no matter which side of you're on.
Would it piss you off if yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, what you about to say?
Would it piss you off if the Mayweather-McGregor fight comes to fruition when you and Anderson have been trying to make this fight happen for so many years?
It wouldn't really piss me off because I'm not a hater. It's like I believe everything happens on God's time and God's terms. So I'm not the type of guy who would be pissed off about it because if it's good for them at the time, we thought about it first and we want to do it first. But if it happens for them and it works for them, then the glory be to God for them. You feel me?
Yeah.
I'm never pissed off or hating because somebody's making money. That's what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? If you can make money doing it, that's what they're in the sports for. Is to make money. So if they make big money doing it, that's good for them. I'm not going to be mad about it. I mean, I just hope we get our opportunity to do the same thing. But I mean, I'm not mad because they did it first. I mean, we wanted to do it first. Yeah, we brought the idea up first. It was us who first started. But if they get to eat off of it first, then, I mean, we helped because we pioneered that.
Yeah.
And now they got a chance to do it first. But we still should get our just dues and get the opportunity to do it because we were the original pioneers of that idea.
By the way, before I let you go, I know sometimes in MMA it's kind of cool, and in sports in general to hate on boxing. But I feel like boxing is having a tremendous year, and you can argue maybe in some ways, as far as big fights are concerned, a better year than MMA. I mean, the last few weeks have been amazing. How do you feel? And I know this is somewhat of a loaded question, but do you feel like boxing is enjoying a great period right now? Are you happy with the current state of the sport?
I'm highly happy with the current state of the sport. And boxing is at an all-time high right now to me because some of the best are fighting some of the best in their primes. Perfect example, next week, Ward versus Kovalev.
Yep.
Big fight, big rematch that needed to happen. The first fight was a very good fight, very close fight. Could have gone either way. I thought it should have been called probably a draw, and a draw the champion keeps his belt. At least a draw or Kovalev, but Ward did do a lot of good work on the inside, close at the end of the fight, so you can understand why judge could have thought that way. So You know, it's like it was a great fight, and to get a rematch of that fight is a great thing. Canelo Triple G is a wonderful matchup, one that should have already happened in a lot of people's eyes. But the good thing about it is they both still in their prime, and nobody's gotten beat in the last year or two, so it's great for them. Great for boxing, a fight that the whole boxing world wants to see. Be even better if it turns to be a great fight like the Joshua Klitschko fight was, because we didn't expect a really great fight that night and got one of the best heavyweight fights we've had in the last 25 years. So it's like, if that can try to be the same thing, which we expect it to be, it still would be good for it. But boxing's having an awesome year. A lot of big fights coming up, a lot of big fights on the horizon, a lot of new heavyweights, and that's what really making it good, because of new heavyweight breed coming in, bringing more action back to the sport. That always makes for great boxing. Like Ali, when Ali was heavyweight champion of the world, the heavyweight championship of the world was the most prestigious award on the planet at the time, because of how Ali put himself with it. But Ali also stood up for things outside the ring, along with things inside the ring, which is what I'm telling you about the slave trade. So I would put my own wants aside to go fight for the slave trade situation.
Yeah, and actually 2 days ago was the 1 year anniversary of his passing. I'm assuming you met Ali in the past, right?
Of course.
Yeah, just amazing. I'll never forget. Just when he passed away, when the news came out, that's a moment that you'll always remember, I think.
Yeah, I always remember, and let me show you how God works. Not only did he pass away that day, the day that Ali is why I started boxing. You understand me? That is why I knew that boxing was for me, because of Muhammad Ali.
Wow.
Without Muhammad Ali, I would have never found, or it would have taken me a long time to figure out what I wanted to be. After I saw Muhammad Ali at 5 years old, I knew that's what I wanted to do. Funny thing is, I never thought I'd get married in life. I did. But the lady I married, her birthday is the same day that Muhammad Ali died on.
Wow.
June 3rd.
Wow.
I never forget those things.
Wow. And by the way, your son's killing it on the court. Is he going to go to the NBA? What do you think?
Well, I hope he does. Isaiah Thomas has made a great point for him, because he's only about 5'9", 5'10". So Isaiah is showing that the small point guard still can be a factor in the NBA, and that's a great thing for him. So I'm hoping that he'll get some good looks this summer, have a good year next year, and that he can get into a D1 college. I think if he gets in a D1 college, he'll get to the NBA, because he definitely can play the game. He's a very special talent on the basketball court.
That is great. Good luck to him. When's the next Island fights?
July 22nd.
And where?
July 22nd. Pensacola, Florida, at the Pensacola Bay Center. And if you can, try to tune in and check it out. And like I said, we're working our best to try to get on Fight Pass. Meanwhile, we do what we got to do in the meantime. But we are trying to get on Fight Pass. But we have some really good fights here, and people love it. The fans love it here. So I brought fighting on a major level to this city, and I don't want to let that die, because to me, that's something I'm responsible for.
That's right.
I brought the entertainment in the box. I brought the whole world to know what Pensacola, Florida is.
That's right.
So why let it die? You got to keep it.
That is true. You put that town on the map. Again, like I said, massive honor for me. I just adored watching you fight, and it's so cool to talk to you here. I wish you the best. Happy to hear and see that everything's doing great for you, Roy. Thank you for the insight, and hopefully we can talk to you soon. And good luck, with upcoming fight and everything with Island Fights. I mean, just continued success to you and your family.
God first, coming soon. Going to fight for this situation. Like I told you, if I go fight for a situation, I fight hard when I fight for a situation outside of myself. This situation is outside of myself, because that slave trade is something really bad right now, and I'm going to do my best to do all that I can to put an end to it.
Amen.
So look out, champion.
Y'all must have forgot. He's still there. He ain't going nowhere. Roy, thank you. All the best to you.
Right here, baby.
There he is. Wow. Pensacola's finest. Roy Jones Jr. I fanboy out a little bit when I talk to that guy. He is the man. Y'all must have forgot. I had the clip, but we ran out of time. There's so much to talk to him about. That was really cool, and appreciate his insight. Very different, by the way, than his old friend Antonio Tarver. Interesting stuff. It's always interesting to get everyone's take on that fight and what it means for boxing. You heard from Tarver recently, you heard from De La Hoya, so that's Roy Jones's take. We appreciate him coming on, and we appreciate Island Fights. They're doing good things. Hopefully that they can get on UFC Fight Pass.